Hello friends, welcome to the 21st day of Learn Piano Together online for beginners. Today is a special day because today we are going to recap around all of our previous lessons, what we have learned, what notes we have learned, how we read music, and what number of chords we have learned together. Basically, I have drawn up or I scribbled on some white paper for all of us some basic notations so that we can understand and memorize it more in our brain and make sure that when we go forward we have a proper strategy in place in terms of learning tunes and rhythms. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what is the agenda for today's class, right? Right, okay. So first of all, I would like to introduce a simple memory map to you guys. This is basically a way how I have drawn to understand what note is where. It looks really simple if you have a look. This is mapped according to my brain's understanding, and it might help you to learn how to play or how to read music from a book. So basically, if you see on the top, you will see that what I have done is for the right hand, every single note on the line I have put it down here, and every single note between the lines I have put it down here. And similarly for left hand, every single note on the line I have put it down here, and every single note between the lines I have put it down here. And just to memorize it, what I have done is I have created a story. So there used to be a boy. He lives in a village and he has a farm, and that boy is known as very nice and helpful boy in the whole village. And because he was very helpful and he take cares of his farm and animals, people have created a song for him, right? And because that song has all these notes, so how does that goes? So for the right hand, every single note on the line says every good boy deserve food, right? If you see every good boy deserve food, that is how it's read at. And again on the between the lines section, it reads as face, but according to the story it has farm animal cow eat. So if you read farm animal cow eats, most of the people I have seen on YouTube, they call it at face because it's your face and it's easy to remember. But according to our story for the farm boy, I have noted it down as farm animal cow eats. So that is for our right hand section notes how to read it. Similarly for the left hand section, if you see on the lines it says good boy defends farm animal. Again, good boy defends farm animal, that is on the line. And if you go on the between the lines, it says all cow eats grass, all cow eat grass. Okay, so that fits really good into our story. So there was a farm, there was a village in which a boy used to live. He was very nice, he used to take care of his farm and animal, and that's how they have created this notation for that good boy. Okay, so this will help us to remember things. I will scan it and put a link below the video so that you can download it and then start reading the music according to this easy handy graph or notation to remember, right? Now the second part what I have drawn on a paper is the number of chords we have learned till date. Now you might have seen in the screenshots I have shown you before that we have learned these chords from top to bottom. So if you see, the first chord we have learned is C major for left and right hand. The second chord we have learned is F major on left and right hand. The third chord we have learned is G major, left and right hand. The fourth chord we have learned is D7, left and right hand. And the fifth chord we have learned is G7, left and right hand. Now I will scan it and I'll put it in a link again for you to download it. So make sure that you download, print it, and keep it with you all the time if you're learning how to read music. So this one was for the notes which we have learned to play on the piano, and this one is for chords. And I am hoping that it will be super easy once you memorize these two pieces of papers in your brain and try to play the music. Okay, now let's move on to the next part of today's lesson, which is what we are going to do is we are going to memorize this, and then we're going to play each chord with both the hands. First single notes for the chord and then followed by the whole chord together, left hand and right hand. That will finish the lesson for today, and from tomorrow onwards we will be going to learn how to play different rhythms with these chords. Okay, so let's get started. Okay guys, so as you can see on the screen, I have put it on the right hand side that for the right hand, every chord on the line is E, G, B, D, F, which is every good boy deserve food, and then in the middle of it is farm animal cow eat. Okay, now when we are on the C position, which you already know because we have discussed in our previous lessons, it starts from the middle of the whole piano, well, not exactly middle, but middle thumb, as you can see, and it goes like this: C, D, E, F, G, right? And the same if we play on the left hand, C, E, F, G. Okay, so let's start with left hand C major and the right hand C major. Okay, first we'll play the note and then the whole chord. Right, so basically C, E, G from the left hand and C, E, G from the right hand, that's called C major chord. Now let's move on to F major chord. Now F major chord is C, F and A. Okay, so we have practiced this before also, so let's do it again as we have decided today. Perfect. So this was C major and F major. Now you see these are the only two chords which you can play on being C position on the keyboard, right? Well, there might be more, but as far as our previous lessons, whatever number of chords we have learned. Let's move on to the G major chord. Now for the G major chord, you have to be on a G position, not on the C position. So again, as you remember, this is C position, so this is G position. Same way. This is G position again. Okay. Now, if I have to play G major chord, I have to do G B D, G B D, D B G, D B G. Now, if you remember from our previous page, G B D, these are on the left hand is the bottom three lines, G B D, right? And on our right hand it is the middle three lines, G, B, D. But they are all on lines. Okay. Okay. So on the C position, 1 3 5 is C major, and 1 5 7, because we have to move the pinky finger, is F major. On the G position on the keyboard, 1 3 5 is G major. So getting into the brain, it's simple. C position 1 3 5 is C major. G position 1 3 5 is G major. Perfect. Now let's move on to the D7 chord. Okay. Again, D7 chord has to be on the G position. So let's get to the G position. This is our G position. It's G major chord. Now, if we want to play D7 chord, we have to play C D F. Okay. So G A G A B C D, G A B C D. Now, C D is last two fingers, and F with a hash means the black key has to be pressed. So for the left hand, we will move our finger to the black one and we will play it. For the right hand, again the thumb. Nice. Okay, so this was our D major chord, and I mean, I don't know if you have seen right this. What I have done is, when I was in G position, I have moved my thumb to the right and played it like this. Yeah. For the left, for the right, 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 for the left, for the right. Okay. Now this is our D7 chord on G position. Now the most difficult chord, which I feel myself is most difficult, because I can understand the C position on the keyboard now and the G position on the keyboard. But this G7 chord is actually asking me to move all of my finger here and there and come up with a new position and then play the G7 chord. And that's why it's not getting into my head that much easily. Hence it's causing a lot of problems. But still, because I have laid down it in a proper way, C major, F major, G major, D7 and G7, it might stay in the brain for a little longer time. Okay, so let's play the G7 chord. Now, to play the G7 chord, we have to be in the G position first of all. Now the G7 chord has very weird combination of keys. So it has F, G and B. So on the G position you have G, A, B, C, D, G, A, B, C, D. So basically you have G and B, these two, but you don't have F. So for this, you know that next to the G there is F. So you have to move your G finger to the F and keep your B finger at B, and then you have F, which is, sorry, first of all you have to move your G finger to your F and A finger to your G, and then your B will be there. So like this, G, F and B, B, F, G, B, F, G, B. Now for the right hand also, you have to move your G index finger to F, and then your finger which was on the G, A to the G, and then same for C to the B. So perfect. So this makes us feel like this is the most difficult chord of all time, and hence I believe that it needs a lot of practice while moving our hands from G position to this one. I mean, if I play it on like practice too much, I know that I have to move my hand and then play it like this, right? From G position, move everything on left and press 1, 2 and 4 fingers. This is my G7 chord, but obviously brain needs to understand it. This is G position, right? Difficult to understand by brain, but you know, it should be alright. So these are all the chords which we have played today. Now we understood that how we can remember all the notes and all the chords together and play them. So let's, in the last part of this lesson, let's play G major, F major together, and because it's on the C position, and then G major and D7 chord together, just to make sure that we can switch between them. Okay? What to do is we have to go back to the C position, and then play C major, and then F major. Perfect. So you see, moving from C major to F major in left hand with our left hand is easier, but moving from C major to F major on our right hand is difficult. Now it is mandatory to learn chords on both the hands, right? That's how the music works. But you can, you can understand it, which one you prefer, left or right, to play that particular chord, and then just stick to it, just to make sure that you understand it. I mean, if somebody asks me, if I am on the C position and somebody asks me play C major, I'll play with my right hand. C major is good with my right hand. But if somebody asks me to play F major, I'll play it with left hand, because left hand is easier because I'm moving my thumb. Right? So this is how you have to understand it, with the help of what sort of movement in your fingers you're gonna go forward with to switch between the chords. Okay, so let's move on to the G position on the keyboard and figure out how we can move from G major to D7 chord. Okay, so let's go on to the G position. Okay, so G, A, B, C, D, G, A, B, C, D. Right, now G major is D, G, B, D. So G, B, D, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. This is G major. And what is D7 chord? Is C, D, F, which is G, A, B, C, D. So C, D, and F. Again, D7 is easier to move on the left hand with respect to right hand. G major, G major, D7, D7, 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 G, 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 G. Nice. So this is how we move from G major to D7, because it was on the G position on the keyboard. Now we are left with G7 chord, and I'm 100% sure in future lessons we will learn about how to play that chord. Now don't worry about it. I know that we have done a lot of work in last 20 days and we have learned a lot of notes and chords, but this is just to remind ourselves that how the positioning and the chords switch between the hands while we are playing the rhythm. Okay, this was a good practice session, and I think as because we have scribbled on the paper, it has given a lot of thought to our brain, and we can learn more around it. So don't worry guys, I think it's going really good. Don't lose your motivation. We will do it. We will cover a very good song soon. Okay, so I'm gonna get something more interesting tomorrow for all of us, and then we will try to play tomorrow some sort of song which comes up out of with this particular chords. Okay, so I have to summarize this here. Keep sending me your comments and questions if you have any, and don't worry, I'm gonna scan this scribbles and attach the link on the description of this video, where you can download it and print it out just to have a copy with you. And I'll see you tomorrow. Keep practicing and have a good evening. Bye bye.